Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about something different. I'm not going to be doing a book review. I'm going to be talking about my, I did a lot of research about the Whole30 diet, and I'm just going to tell you my opinion on it. And first of all, I have not tried the Whole30. I'm just doing this on research that I did, so I did not do the Whole30 diet, and I got kind of into this because people at my work were talking about it, and they were talking about how it's good clean eating, and yada yada yada. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna look this up. And it kind of made me a little bit upset when I looked this up. There's a few reasons why I don't approve of this fad diet, and it is a fad diet. I'm sorry, but it is a fad diet. It's another version of Atkins. And I'm going to give you some reasons why I do not approve of this diet. Now, a little bit of a disclaimer. If you are doing this diet, I'm not saying anything about you. I'm not calling you out. I'm not saying you're stupid people. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about the diet in general and the things I looked up. Okay, so I just want to get that out there. I'm not talking about you guys that are on the Whole30 diet. Now, the first point I want to make is the food choices do not make, the food that you're allowed to eat and not allowed to eat do not make any sense. Okay, this is pretty much a new Atkins diet. Like I said before, it's protein, no carbs, no carbs. And, okay, I was looking and I saw, you can go on their website and you can see all the list of things that you are and are not allowed to eat, for the most part. And I said, okay, I saw dairy. Okay, dairy's good. Dairy's good to not have. And refined sugar, that's good, because, that sugar film kind of showed how much sugar is in things. But then you go down a little lower. You can't have any grains. Grains are good for you. Grains have a lot of protein, and they're really beneficial. And you're not allowed to have legumes that are also, certain legumes that are also, legumes are very high in protein and iron and zinc and things like that. That makes no sense to me. A great deal of the human population subsides on grains and legumes. But you're not allowed to have any of that. And I think that's very important to have in your diet. But then you scroll down a little bit more, you kind of look at different things. You scroll down and you're allowed to have bacon. I looked this up. Don't tell me I'm not pulling this out of my butt. You're allowed to have bacon as long as it doesn't have any added sugar. Bacon is not good for you. You can go to any WebMD site and they tell you, WebMD, or I went to Livestrong as well, bacon has tons of cholesterol and saturated fat. That is not good for you. You can't tell me that that's good for you, because it's not. and you're allowed to have a lot of meat. And recently, the WHO came out and said that processed meat and red meat are carcinogens. They're seen to cause cancer. They did it with 800 studies. It's been proven at this point. I don't understand how anyone can say that that's healthy. And they talk about it as clean eating. I saw some websites and some YouTube videos to say that it was clean eating, and it's not. And you're not allowed to have any carbs. And carbs they're an energy source, if I could talk. They're an energy source. I mean, I just don't understand it. They give you energy, and they just... No carbs? That's so unhealthy. That's not good for you. And so the food choices did not make any sense to me. And I even showed it to my mother, and my mother even researched some things, and she's like, it's just another fad diet, and it's not good for you. And it didn't make any sense to me. When I saw bacon on there, I just facepalmed, because it just didn't make any sense. Now, reason number 2, I have an issue with this plan, with this fad diet, is that they had a really bad attitude. I thought they had a very condescending attitude, and I'm just not into that. I think if you want people to get on board with things, I think you need to be accepting, and the way that they described some things, like they described some of the carbs, like when you eat some of the foods that are not allowed, they described it with, and I'm quoting, so please don't flag me, they described it with sex. They described it as sex with your pants on. It's like, why do you need to use, like, I'm not a prude, I understand things are out there, I'm not like, but why do you need to use that terminology? Like, and some of the things that they said were very condescending. Like, they said, there are no slip-ups unless you slipped on a box of donuts. It's like, and your face landed in a box of donuts. It's like, how rude and condescending and snarky can you be? I mean, I would never say that to... I would never be like that to anyone. Like, for example, my friend and I, we were doing, she's wanted to try a vegetarian diet with me, and because I was already vegetarian, and she wanted to try a vegetarian diet, and she had a lot of issues going, like, she's like, I just cheated a couple times, and we kind of laughed about it. I wasn't like, you're just a lazy person. I never said that to her. We made it, I mean, you can't be that way. I think that's really rude. I was just like, oh, okay, at least you tried it, I wasn't like, you're lazy. And you don't treat people like that. You don't do that. And also, when you look online at their website, a lot of the people on the Whole30 team, don't have credentials, and they could be bloggers for all I know. I mean, the only person that was cited were the co-founders. I think their last name's Hardwick, the Hardwick couple. They were the only ones that had credentials, and they were she was a sports nutritionist. But the other people, they could be bloggers for all I know. And I just didn't like that. Like, why do you and they probably are bloggers. I mean I don't know, but I mean there was no, it looked like they didn't have any credentials. Like, they weren't doctors or any of that. And again, this is just another fad diet out to make money. And in a lot of these fad diets, the people on the other end that are getting you to do the diet, a lot of them, and I learned this in a college class, a lot of them are not nutritionists or any of that. They're salespeople out to make a buck. And I think it's very sad. I really do. And I don't understand. From what I saw, I don't understand how people think this is healthy eating. I mean, it just baffles me. This is just a new Atkins diet. That's basically what it is. It's a fad diet. And it's just, and they have a really rude and condescending attitude. And that's just my idea on the Whole30. I mean, again, like I said, it's just another fad diet, and the food choices, the food limitations, and the food that you can have do not make any sense. And that's just my opinion, and I'm allowed to have an opinion. And I'll put links, and you can see for yourself and tell me what you think about it. That's all I wanted to say. Bye, guys.